sail on these ocean waves. Nobody knows.
I would start with main sensor photos. On the left it's a Redmi K30 Ultra and on the right it's Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra. Redmi K30 Ultra comes with a 64 megapixel main sensor and Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra comes with a 48 megapixel main sensor with OIS. Before any other word, I am surprised, I am amazed, and yeah, this Mi 10 Ultra is really in the super flagship league. Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra produced images with very wide dynamic range, superb selective exposure between subject and background, true-to-life color rendering and skin tone, extremely well-processed textures and sharpness. When I was doing this camera comparison, I have taken pictures with 9 smartphones and Mi 10 Ultra did as good as iPhone 11 Pro if not better. Now, yes, you should know that these pictures were taken at the verge of sunset and sun was setting at the background. This is truly a difficult condition for a budget smartphone like Redmi K30 Ultra, but as it comes with almost the same rear camera setup as Redmi K30 Pro, I had a bit better expectations. We have continued to take pictures at the same place, same time, and this time these are portrait photos. And yes, Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra snaps portrait with its 2x telephoto lens. These are 50mm portraits and truly incomparable with Redmi K30 Ultra portrait photos. I don't wanna repeat about dynamic range, details and color rendering. Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra produced very natural looking portraits with almost perfect edge detection, and I like this creamy blur effect. Background is not totally blurred, subject is very sharp, and yes, edge detection is far better than Redmi K30 Ultra. Redmi K30 Ultra does good within its limitations, but there is clear evidence of difference between Redmi K30 Ultra and Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra. There are two things I must mention. Yes, edge detection of Mi 10 Ultra is very good. However, sometimes you may find unnatural and very sharp cutouts around the edges of the subject and blur effect. Another thing is, sometimes based on background and ambient lighting, exposure may take a sharp turn toward darker tone. I liked and yeah, I still like ultra-wide performance of Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro and Xiaomi Mi Note 10 Pro, cause these two have the same 20 megapixel ultra-wide sensor with identical specifications. Now, Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra have a better ultra-wide lens and wider field of view. This is even better than Mi 10 Pro or Mi Note 10 Pro. This ultra-wide setup and its performance is obviously better than many other flagships. It produces ultra-wide photos with very good dynamic range, enough details which is almost impossible for other flagships to generate with their smaller ultra-wide sensors. In terms of sharpness, sometimes it may look a little soft, however, to the point exposure, natural color rendering makes ultra-wide photos eye candy. I am not exaggerating. After taking a lot of pictures with Mi 10 Ultra ultra-wide lens, I found that sometimes it even beats photos taken with some other smartphone's main sensors. No, Redmi K30 Ultra cannot beat Mi 10 Ultra in ultra-wide shots, especially outdoor. However, if you really wanna know, then yes, I found that OnePlus 8 Pro ultra-wide camera performance is similar to Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra, if not better than Mi 10 Ultra. I think you have noticed that I mentioned about enough details. It is not like full of details. There are some textures lost in the post-processing and sometimes, especially in low light, there will be visible noise. Redmi K30 Ultra sometimes have better white balance. It has very similar trends and attributes of Redmi K30 Pro. However, I found that it fails to process moving objects in ultra-wide shots and sometimes moving objects gets blurred. Yes, both of these two smartphones are from the same parent company. However, after taking a lot of pictures with the main sensors of these two smartphones, both in outdoor and indoor environment, I have found that white balance and saturation of Redmi K30 Ultra and Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra changes depending on a few different factors. After checking again and again, yes, Redmi K30 Ultra has a cooler tone and Mi 10 Ultra produces images with slight warm tone. This sometimes creates a big difference between these two, but that is not like an obvious. Yes, Redmi K30 Ultra generally keeps the tone cool, however, white balance randomly jumps back and forth, which is an issue, and color rendering is very inconsistent. No, I don't think this is an issue because depending on personal preferences, some people may like a bit saturated photos and bright colors. Everything apart, Mi 10 Ultra has the best exposure along with wide dynamic range when photos are taken with the main sensor. I'm surprised to see how Mi 10 Ultra processed details in the shadows. brightened up images with higher highlights without blowing the background. This is simply amazing. When a lot of colors needed to get reproduced, when there are different light sources and it requires a lot of post-processing, then again I found that Redmi K30 Ultra starts to lose some details and textures, tries to saturate the colors, tries to increase contrast ratio and fails to process well-lit areas. On the other hand, Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra does manage to process like an ultra flagship and generates lucrative photos. In low light environment, Redmi K30 Ultra suffers more than Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra. Oh sorry, why do I say this? Actually Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra performance is above and beyond my expectations under low light. It doesn't even suffer. And check the photos. Do I have to say a lot to differentiate? Can't you just find the differences? Night mode photos of Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra is good enough to fight with Pixel 4 and iPhone 11 Pro. Yeah, sometimes I feel like Xiaomi has done a tremendous job to improvise the night mode results. Wait, no, these two pictures were taken in basic photo mode and now these two are taken in night mode. Can you see the differences? Yes, both did great to lit up the image, but look at the image on the right. This one is not only brighter but also have more details. It's even sharper, and where are the noise and grains? Xiaomi has really managed to do something better with denoising algorithm. Before the release of Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra, I was working on a night mode camera comparison between flagship smartphones. I think I have to redo everything because Mi 10 Ultra performance redefines night mode. It's true that sometimes I forget to add selfie photos and selfie portraits in camera comparison, so this time I have asked Karina to do this selfie thing. No, these images are not taken at the same time. First she took the selfie and selfie portraits with Redmi K30 Ultra and then with Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra. There is about 10 minutes time difference, but I don't think that's the factor between the performance difference. Redmi K30 Ultra selfie camera performance is almost identical to Redmi K30 Pro, and even after turning off the beautification there are some beauty effects. Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra selfie performance is much more natural, skin tone is close to reality and background have way more details. Moving on to selfie portrait, once again color rendering, skin tone and details is better on Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra. Yes, sometimes I feel like there is some sort of saturation on Mi 10 Ultra selfie and selfie portrait, but when I see the amount of details and sharpness, that little bit of saturation is nothing. Creamy bokeh effect, better edge detection, these are the basics of perfect selfie portraits, and Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra does the basic with perfection. This video was recorded at 4K 30 frames per second. Well, I must say, even if I was working cautiously to get better stability, Redmi K30 Ultra did more than better. Yes, it has ugly saturation, yes, it has less details, but that stabilization alone won my heart. Mi 10 Ultra performance is as good as any other flagships. But I would say Mi 10 Ultra actually did better than many other flagships as it kept exposure and contrast ratio in line throughout the video. White balance, details and stabilization. Everything is perfect. Another set of 4K 30 frames per second videos. On the left you can see again a bit saturated as usual, and most importantly check the sky at the background, washed out. This time I held the smartphones carelessly and you can see jelly effect on the left from EIS. On the right, dynamic range is better, more details, better white balance and perfect exposure. Look at this. When the model turned around, it needed to set focus on the subject, increased highlights and background washed out. But once the model flipped away, it worked great. It got back its focus and exposure. Look at the sky. Look at the changes. This is awesome autofocus and exposure. But there is an issue. Contrast ratio. Yes, if it could increase contrast ratio a bit on the subject, then this video would be the perfect one.
Hey guys.
Yeah, time for selfie video, and again Karina is here.
We are now changing. It's the second floor of Starbucks. This is 天津的滨江藏。
I am surprised to see stabilization on selfie camera of Mi 10 Ultra. Is it for real? Usually Xiaomi and Redmi devices get no stabilization on selfie camera. On paper these two comes with similar selfie camera setup, but in reality Mi 10 Ultra performance is way better. I think we should compare K30 Ultra with K30 Pro. What do you think? Anyway, we are about to wrap up. What do you think about these two smartphones' camera performance? Please don't forget to write a comment. If you have liked this video, then please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel.
It's clear, yeah. We don't have to go back to what we used to. Rather just stay, make a new life with you. Must be fate, must be a sign. This must be fate, must be a sign.